there's lots of joys about the job, lots of good things, because you get to meet lots of people, but you see them regularly, so it doesn't feel like work. It feels like you're going to see people that you have an association with, and especially on a place like Skye, where there's this interconnectedness between people anyway. You can't go anywhere without meeting somebody's cousin or brother or sister, uncle, it's very much interconnected like that. And it doesn't feel like going to work. That was one of the things I enjoyed as a carer. You do your things, you're still professional, and you're working within guidelines, which are very clear. You've got backup there if you need it. You've got the training that you get, but for the most part, what you bring to the job is yourself. If you help somebody else, this isn't just in care. This is in life in general. If you help somebody else, puts your own issues into the back seat for a while, which is quite refreshing, and ultimately it does you good. It lifts you up, and puts things in perspective, and it's inspiring seeing how people cope with what can be major things and major changes. People are getting older, so maybe a spouse has passed away, maybe a friend, and so on. That like their friend groups can be slowly disappearing as they get older, and they're not standing on the beaches at Dunkirk or flying above in a Spitfire. They're maybe like sitting in an armchair with a cup of tea, but they can do that day after day, year after year, and still have a joke or a smile, or even, as I say, when you turn up if the weather's bad, very often people will say, "Oh, I didn't expect you to come," because they're worried about you. It's the job isn't going and doing things like if you're helping somebody with their personal care, it's not you going and doing something to somebody, it's you going and doing something with somebody, and in their own way they give back. They give back to you, even if it's a cup of tea and a biscuit, So in fact, I have to rein myself back when I visit people, because earlier on when we were in the office, Brenda brought in sausage rolls, and I'm over the moon. I love a good sausage roll. So when I go, I was quite effusive about my praise of her cooking, because she's great. But then going around to people's houses, there's one place I went, every time I turn up, there'd be chips, because they said, "Oh, I love the chip," because the Highland hospitality is a thing, As I said, there's no job like it, no other job like it, because it stops being a job. You're going, rather than being paid to go and see people, you're going to see people and being paid for it. It's amazing. It's remarkable. There aren't really many jobs, I feel, like this, that give you some security and a career, but also gives you lots of free time to do whatever floats your boat. So yeah, ideal for people with families that need some flexibility, because you can do different hours, and then what a way to earn your keep, being able to drive around in a place like this, whichever way I would look at it. I would think, I can't believe I'm being paid for this, because I'd be working, I'd be seeing nice people, it'd be quite interesting. And maybe it's just my perspective, because before coming to Skye, we used to come here on holiday. So I was one of those people who used to try not to block the road too much. But living here, it still feels to some degree like being on holiday, because you're driving around and it's easy on the eye, easy on the soul, if you want to go that way. Between calls, you get to decompress, because you might go on a call where sometimes you come across things that you think, oh, something's quite sad. Usually not. It's just like your everyday encounters. But if you are dealing with something, because sometimes people are, it's like end of life. So that will happen occasionally, and there's obviously the support for the people, but there's also support within the job for yourself, with your colleagues or the office and so on. But the environment that you're in between calls allows you to recover yourself and to refresh yourself. You can process things as you're driving around and reset yourself for the next call. So even though it's lovely, that gap in between calls when you're driving around is actually it's a part of the job. It's a part of that not recovery. Refresh is a better word for it. Well, I tell you what, it's like when I was growing up and we were moving from England to Ireland, we always seemed to be on a boat or a train. And in the night time, I'd be looking out of the window of the train and seeing the lights of all these houses, usually the backs of the houses, as the train was passing. And I wondered to myself, I'd be thinking, I wonder what that person's life is like and what they're like and so on. But it was just this brief glimpse of these anonymous people as you were quickly passing. And so now that experience has, in a way, it's morphed down to still being on a train of sorts, being on a journey through life, but now not going by as quickly. Rather than just seeing the lights pass, when you're actually going into the houses and seeing the people that you would at some point have just passed by. But the opportunity is there to have this insight into life. There's more reasons to do it than not do it. The only thing getting in the way, really, of not being a carer is not knowing what it is. Because once you know what the job involves, and that all of the people are different that we care for, or carers are different, and that we are literally looking for you and what you can bring to it, there's no reason not to go, other than the obstacle that you put in front of yourself. Because we're asking you to come along. We've opened the door. I get immense satisfaction from this role, and like my background, I've done all sorts. I've worked in factories, I've worked been a taxi driver, I've been a musician, I've been a dry cleaner, I've been a shiatsu practitioner. Yeah, I've done all sorts of that. Out of everything, all the jobs I've done, this is the most enjoyable. It's the most rewarding. But then I'll also say all the other jobs that I've done feed into this. Do you know, nothing is wasted. There's another, like a more personal aspect of the working in care, in that my mum was always a carer. So maybe in a way I'm following in her footsteps, and she always loved older people, you know, worked in Meals on Wheels and worked in care homes, went to see people in their houses. So my mum has got dementia, really bad. So she doesn't actually know who I am, or my brothers. And I did try myself to be her carer, but because it was so severe, it wasn't actually possible. And so maybe in a way, my actually working in this role is like paying it forward. It's like, okay, I can't look after my mum, but then maybe looking after yours, then do you know, maybe it kind of, what goes round comes round, as they say. So yeah, that's it. Lots of different reasons to become a carer, and not really any good reasons why not to become a carer. So yeah, give it a go.